anyway because it's slippery. Yeah, I reckon Cruiser's ability to be like that ground level ferreter is going to be really valuable.
Yeah, I think if Leuenberger can match him at ground level, just make an honest contest, but where Leuenberger might have the advantage is pushing it out into space for the Bombers players to get onto.
Okay, round 3, Sunday afternoon football. The unbeaten Bombers, the winless Blues. Leuenberger in the middle, first tap. Cripps, as always, hard at the football. Williamson, first game, a first touch. Went to Cruiser, off the ground. White works it forward. Have a look at the sliding football. Hurley, a fumble, but time just to work it in the Bagley direction, and that might be how we play it today. Go for distance off the ground. Plowman wants deliberate and gets it.
Well, there's going to be some harsh interpretations today because just kicking an odd ball off the ground and hoping it goes forward is quite often going to be the only option players have got.
But you're right, Hame. It is a game of yardage today, no question. Every metre important that you go towards your goal. There's a fine tackle. Knocked out in the tackle, said the umpire. Langford in amongst it, couldn't control it. Umpire lets it go. A lot of players around the ball. You get the feeling this is going to be the order of the day. Watson, Cripps, Heppel coming to bust it up, almost out. Merritt been in good touch. Boundary throw in. Zach Merritt been in fine form. 20 touches over the last 28 games. That's sort of Kennedy, Dangerfield, Treloar hemisphere. He's been in great touch.
And he kicks the ball a lot. He's just so good with ball in hand.
37 and 32 in the opening rounds of this year as Leuenberger does well at ground level, works it to the wing. Hooker and Danaher just working out how to dance together. Parrish, well done, back to Watson. Clever ball to Heppel from the former skipper to the skipper of now, inside 50. Beautiful ball. Here's a chance. Fantasia loves kicking a goal, been kicking a lot of them. Worked it back inside, dribbles it across the face. In fact, no score.
See, with that kick today,
won't turn.
No grip, Jimmy, with that type of kick today with the slippery conditions. Have a look at this.
It's going to slide on straight, isn't it, when the ball...
He tried to get it to grip, and it just didn't grip.
Like the cricket pitch, when you get no grip, ball won't spin.
So knocked down, Carlton appealing deliberate. So that's got to be given some consideration for the players as well when they are on those difficult angles. Forward pocket here for the Bombers. Stanton. Arazi, old Fantasia off the deck.
One of the things you hope even early days, I mean, the umpiring interpretation, I know they shouldn't change from game to game, but when there gets a pack situation, just hope they pull out the free kick in a way. Like whether it's the free kick to the tackler or even preferably the free kick to the guy with the footy. But either way, they've got to really be prepared to blow the whistle to clear the packs.
Doherty to White, I know you mentioned it before the game, but Fantasia, 10 games since the middle of last year, 7 of them he's kicked at least 3. He's been prolific in front of goals. Wide ball, Casbolt, strong hands as always. Murphy lurks on the outer side. Not the kick he was hoping for. Brown, one of the 3-ins for the Bombers today, marks in front of Cruiser. All 3-ins for both sides, playing their first games of the year. Brown, long ball, one-on-one. Danaher knocked away by Rowe. Some speculation as to whether he would play. Delayed concussion, passed the test yesterday morning. Simpson to Curnow Ed, his brother Charlie, the late out for Palmer. Now to Williamson. Youngster on debut. One of the teenagers for the Blues. 5 of them out there today. Back to Doherty. Happy to take a little time. Over it goes to White, and the switch is on.
Yep, White to Murphy. Murphy, plenty of space here to get it and go if he wants. Trouble is nothing down the line. So he looked back inside, couldn't make that kick either. Forced to just kick long to touch. Casbolt breaks free and takes the mark. Long way from the punt road goal. Cruiser's down there. Leuenberger as well. Did well, Leuenberger. Bagley went without it. Little one here for Petrevsky. Seaton spills. Cripps with a skinner. Got it. Blues with the first.
Good use by Carlton. I must say, Casbolt took a long time to know the ball was going to go out that side of the ground, but the two Essendon defenders got caught up with each other and he took an uncontested mark. And Cruiser, he's going to be trying to drag Leuenberger into the back 50 to make the contest in that part of the ground. Going to be a lot of missed ball handling. Petrovsky-Seton handled it cleanly. Set up Cripps.
That wasn't the banana handball then, Hayne. Did you see that? That was the banana handball.
Well, Petrovsky-Seton apparently can do just about anything. He came in, played his first game without any footy in the pre-season.
Matthew, thank you. Time back on. Play on!
Watson quickly to Brown. There's Petrovsky-Seton. Chases down, but not quite. Kick away inside 50 again. Rowe, as he so often does, involved. To the boundary, 60 out from the Bombers' goal.
Now, I was talking about Petrovsky-Seton. Normally you see this with a kick from the players. Look at that. Yeah, banana, kick it on the side, handball.
I think he was thinking about left boot and then...
It's like the inside-out right-hand handball rather than just actually doing the left-hand handball, which would have been probably simpler as long as you can execute.
As we said on debut, from a part of the Kimberleys, which is a long way from anywhere really, involved within there. Petrovsky-Seton taken to the ground. Palmer, who's the in for Charlie Curnow. Smets, one of the outs. So Armfield, Smets and Charlie Curnow out. Kerridge, Palmer and Williamson, who's seen the ball a bit already today in.
Watson, Essendon. Hold of the jumper.
We've seen early in the game, as Jimmy said before the game, that Leuenberger's height is actually getting his hand to the ball to hit it into space. So that part of the game will be something Essendon will try and build on.
27 and 33 for Watson in the opening 2 rounds of the season. Searches for Heppel, finds him but a fumble. McCready the tackler. Ball dislodged. Cripps, Petrovsky-Seton. Now space for Daisy Thomas. Nothing in front of him. Might think about Casbolt. Thomas could probably skid it through from there if he was lucky, but had to go over the top to right. Being chased by Gleeson. Right, little give back. Kerridge. Low ball is on, misses the target. Bit of a reprieve for the Bombers. Hurley wants distance and space. Going to find Plowman. Marks between a couple of Bombers. Plowman quickly. Short ball is on. Palmer. Couple of former Giants. And now Palmer into the pocket. A little bit too much really for Thomas. Allowed Bagley to get involved. Hurley crashes the ball to the wing. First man there. Be Williamson, the youngster on debut. Keeps it in. The lefty. Kick.
Good use.
Well done to Thomas.
Nice sliding mark by Dale Thomas. So Carlton looking lively and likely. He does hook the ball a lot, Dale Thomas has since day one.
He's basically just kicked it straight to the zoning play for Essendon. You've got to be able to use the ball a little better than that from those set kicks 80 metres out.
Hurley winds up and sees Danaher as the target, punched away from him successfully by Rowe.
It's been one of those games already, and you know, because the ball's just that little bit greasy, it's not raining at the moment, the ball's certainly greasy. Players won't have the confidence to try and go from outside in towards the centre square, because a turnover goals are going to be the easiest way to score, so they're going to be playing much more conservatively.
Leuenberger hocking. Heppel difficult, and Gibbs making it even more so. So no rain since the game has started. Just drying up a little, but there is certainly going to be more showers through the day. Leuenberger again with the backhander, hocking. Zaharakis hocking again. A lot of players in and about. Spills, Pickett. Inside 50, Casbolt, good position. Really, really well defended on that occasion by Ambrose without infringing.
Yeah, it was a good defensive. He almost had to try and take a step forward, Casbolt, to make sure the defender made front-on contact, and he might have drawn a free kick.
Leuenberger and Cruiser again, lock horns. Win for neither. Wiedering well done over the top. Here's a chance for Simpson. Got caught on his wrong side to Doherty. Pulls the kick, clever kick. Here's a chance for Jared Pickett. So the Blues have been pretty clean early. Only played 9 minutes of footy. This for an 11-point lead.
Going to be a good duo, I would have thought, for Carlton, Petrovsky-Seton and Pickett. Two small, quick forwards.
Kicked the first goal of his career last week. The drop was a little awkward, wide to the right. So minor score, margin is 6. Jimmy, any breeze at all down there? We know it's been raining heavily all morning and throughout the night.
Yeah, the breeze heading Essendon's way, and what's really noticeable is Hooker and Danaher trying to get up higher, allowing Fantasia to get over the back with the slippery ball.
Casbolt unlucky not to be paid there. Gibbs in the meantime to Cruiser. Got one around the corner. Hurley been doing the job down there. Quick soccer off the ground. Ambrose. Collier didn't get the ball he'd hoped there. Around the corner. Curnow kicks the goal but touched. So he didn't kick the goal, but it was touched on its way for Ed Curnow. Charlie Curnow, his brother, late withdrawal quad issue. We heard Brendan Bolton say just prior to the start of the game that it was a corky.
So Hurley wants Langford, got a couple of blues to interfere with. Well done, Casbolt.
Defending well, Carlton, and their precision kicking's been good. They've had 13 marks to Essendon 3, so with ball in hand, Carlton have been able to maintain possession quite well at this stage.
Early going, inside 50 count, 6 to the Blues. Bombers twice. Cruiser almost very clean. Watson was the ruckman, and Cruiser will find that a nice match-up all day. Collie with the speed and dash, puts out in front of a couple. Speaking of speed and dash, Fantasia out of side, clean pickup, happy to bring it back inside. Works it to half forward, Tip and Woody. Closing late was Marchbank. Little agricultural, says the umpire. Bombers take the advantage. Kelly over the top to Parrish. What a player he has been since he debuted. Still just 19 years of age, one of the two teenagers out on the ground for the Bombers. The other McGrath. Between Tip and Woody and Parrish. A lot for the Bombers to get excited about last year. Parrish to try and open the Bombers account in a major sense today. Hasn't kicked a goal this year. He has now. One of the few positive stories last year, Lee, was Darcy Parrish, a youngster from Winchelsea, down near Birregurra, on the way to Colac. A few brothers that play just as well, we're told, which is extraordinary to think, but he has been very comfortable in the Essendon jumper since the get-go.
Yes, he has benefited a lot from actually playing a little bit more than most of the 18-year-olds when Essendon had a depleted side on the field.
Made good contact with this kick.
Yeah, it was a nice strike, wasn't it? I mean, Essendon took it from one back flank through the centre square to the opposite flank. That's the way to try and attack and into open space.
So an Essendon free in the middle. Luke Hocking. There was a hold off the ball. So Hocking, short little ball to Danaher. Run off the mark, so he calls him to go. Beautiful low ball there by Danaher. Intercepted almost by Orazio Fantasia. Now Hooker's in there, Rowe there as well. Don't think it'll come out of there. Let's get down to Jimmy Bartell on the ground. Jimmy, I know it's not raining at the moment, but what's the future hold for rain today?
It is coming down now, and it looks to be getting heavier and starting to come in a bit sideways. On the weather radar, it looks like we're going to have rain throughout the whole game.
It certainly does. Big shower on the way, looking at that. Little one out the back here to right. Also there, Gleeson. Did well, Gleeson, to hold the front position. Now Wright trying to get hold of the footy. And very, very congested stuff at the moment.
Just hard, isn't it? There's so many bodies around the footy. That's the football. That's modern football. But the fact is, when the ball's just a little bit greasy and you can't take it first feel, it just slips from hand to hand.
Danaher, clever tap in the end to Watson. Hard up against the boundary, never panics, works it back inside the middle. I think it was Pickett in the end that went up, crashed to ground, got back to his feet quickly. Well done. Parrish kicked the last for the Bombers, trying to set up the next. Danaher, fumble, went, got it again. Casbolt threw Danaher to the ground, didn't have the football. Marchbank, almost, not quite. Langford, Goddard, quickly to Parrish, hurried ball forward. In the pocket, here's a chance for Tip and Woody. You're going to burst through, kick a goal. Tip and Woody, Bombers get their second. Well, we know he's a wrecking ball, Anthony McDonald. Tip and Woody just crashed through Blues. Clever enough to get boot to ball. And the Bombers get their noses in front. Lead by 5. McDonald, Tip and Woody. He gets his first of the afternoon. It's his second of the year.
Oh, there's a bit of friendly fire. Yeah, it's a great goal then by McDonald, Tip and Woody. He's got the speed, we know that, but he also had the strength to kind of resist the tackling pressure, and he kept his line over the footy. I don't know, I guess the sweaty conditions in the two wee islands where we came from might be a bit like wet weather as it is today.
Jimmy, Reece Palmer.
Yeah, he's come off under the blood rule in that marking contest where we saw Pickett go flying through the air.
Okay, just a bit of a nick there. In the meantime, the Bombers now consecutive goals. 5-point lead, and this clearance to go with it. Hooker against Rowe. Rowe did well, had no one forward to give the ball to. Kerridge now pursued by Collier. Got a good piece of it there to Marchbank. And he too to Gibbs. So Gibbs, centre wing, southern stand side. Short ball, Silvani. Not a lot happening down the field for the Blues. Thus, Silvani just backs off. Waits for something to pop up that's obvious. And you heard the umpire. Play on is the call for Bryce Gibbs. Fantasia, Merritt, super fast hands, as well as McGrath. Stanton, good tap on through the middle. Watson came in. Interesting little clever trick it was. The foot, when the players thought he was going to go with body and hands, he went with a little left foot poker out the side door.
It was clever, wasn't it? Just a little tap wide. Knew there were a couple of Bombers there. Didn't have time to take it cleanly, so used his footy smarts. Plowman, low ball, got a leading right, got taken high by Bagley. He's been good, Matty Wright, since he got to the Blues. Leading goal scorer last year. Played all the games. Works it forward. Casbolt. Hurley did exactly what he was needed to do.
Good contest that. Hurley was in the right spot, but Casbolt made sure he didn't give away the free kick, affected the spoil. You draw a ball up rather than a free kick against or a mark.
So Casbolt and Danaher, Cruiser and Leuenberger have been doing a lot of the ruck work against each other. Not on this occasion. Merritt around the corner, bouncing ball to the wing. Well done, McCready. Took it cleanly. Tip and Woody charged at him. Well done, Plowman. Just burst through a couple of Bombers. Hacked it to full forward. Silvani is there. So too Wiedering. Hurley tackled, dislodges the footy. I think Brown underneath all of that. Bagley on top of him.
Thanks, guys.
Silvani and Petreski sit as we look at Brown, the last man to get up. Just having a look at Jack Silvani. Long sleeves, socks down, black boots. Couldn't look like his old man too much more. Heppel knocks it forward. Merritt involved, and again. And then that left boot that Jimmy Bartell has been referring to as one of the best in the game finds Gleeson.
Right in the back pocket here. Martin Gleeson told to go by the umpire. Does, with a safe ball down the line, and Carlton make sure that they get a stoppage here.
Number 9. Levi Joe.
Have a look at the number of fluoro boots out there. Very popular these days. Casbolt, Gibbs, now Murphy. Got a bit of a look around the corner. Got it as deep as he could get it. Silvani in front, couldn't mark it. Through came Pickett. Silvani looks for a bit of spin on the footy as well. And he too got a skidder. Made something out of nothing though.
Out of side, bit of a wait in the end for Collier. Goddard, spin was good. Wiedering's tackle just as good. Got him, pinged him, holding the ball. So Wiedering, who arrived with a lot of hype about him and fanfare and expectation and exceeded on all of it, works it to the top of the square. Wind holds it up. Hurley tries to knock it away. Here's a chance for Pickett. Fired the handball back. Ricochet back off Hurley into the pack. And Jimmy, you spoke about the breeze favouring the Bombers. Looked as though that ball just got held up in the breeze.
Yeah, it did. Carlton players were probably waiting at ground level to try and pick up the scraps. It's going to be a hard day to mark the footy coming inside 50.
McGrath, Murphy, Gibbs, Tip and Woody did well to thwart that opportunity. Back to Murphy, losing ground here though. The Blues gaining a little bit of time for Doherty to Rowe. So Rowe now forced to kick over the man on the mark, Carl Hooker. And we'll send it long and deep with a bit of hope here. Casbolt's there a little too far. Almost got it, Casbolt. Cripps trying to bust out with it. Picked up in the end by the Blues. Might have been Pickett, I reckon. McGrath. And forced to concede the behind was McGrath.
Looking dangerous up there, Casbolt. He's going to be a lot of almost marks probably today, but he's looking a good target.
Super hands in the wet by Heppel. Works it to the wing. Hooker's in front spot against Doherty. Again, strong hands. The Doherty fist came from behind, but hands strong enough to hold the football. Stanton, game 2-5-1. Turns it over. Rowe had the height advantage on McDonald, Tip and Woody. Ball worked back to Plowman. Not often you have as much time and space. Plowman can go back, get hold of the football, work into the hands of the skipper, and Murphy around the corner to half back to Silvani. You ever think about what his old man looked like?
I've got to think it looks a bit like his grandfather in the 60s with the black boots. You're almost a radical now if you wear black boots.
Showboat.
That's right.
Well, fluorescent boots of Petrevsky-Seaton. Full stretch. Wearing the famous number 5, Andy McKay, and Chris Judd in more recent times had a year in retirement. Obviously thinks so much of the youngster. Out it came. He's wearing it well. Pickett, not quite.
There is Pickett. 6 minutes remain. We expected it to be low scoring, Lee, and it is.
Yes, no, and in the rain is, it's almost visible now, as Jimmy said, so it's going to be a little bit more slippery, and it's going to be very hard to extricate it with any creativity.
Welcome to Channel 7 for Jimmy Bartell down there. Ground level. Blues battling a lot of bomber jumpers around. Zaharakis extracts. Danaher. 2-on-1 here, Blues way. Rowe initially turned the right way and then realised he had. So Marchbank takes it at half back, and they can keep moving here if they want. And they do. The young fella in his first game, Williamson, short ball to Thomas. Thomas has got to go on his non-preferred left. Now Bagley just gets it. Umpire said it actually hit the deck. Leuenberger had a fresh area. Kerridge is in underneath, and in the end, the Blues trap it inside when the Bombers should have been heading the other way.
Rain continues to fall. Leuenberger, well done to Watson, then just a little fumble back in the Leuenberger direction. Heard the umpire. Ball just rocketed to the top of the square. Wiedering just worked his way away from Hurley. Strength and then clean hands and smarts, and Wiedering. And have a look at the Blues second.
Yeah, it was nice. He read the flight of the ball early, pushed into Hurley, and Wiedering pushed into Hurley to just make sure he could come back to where the drop of the ball was. Nice play.
Played a lot of his junior football forward, and about the under-16s there wasn't a spot for him in the forward 6. He said he was moved back, became a outstanding defender, but very at home in front of goals. This occasion off the right of the boot and stayed right. 2 points the difference, Bombers. Just.
That might have been why he wasn't included in the 6.
Well, he's been very good in front of goals. We saw him warming up, and he looks a natural for it.
So Hurley to the northern MCC members side of the ground here. Good crowd in today. A lot of them you can't see. They're tucked in and under the stands here today. Certainly in excess of 50. That is the Carlton forward end. Leuenberger and Cruiser. Who was holding who? Goddard. Zaharakis quick. Heppel banged it on the boot. Knew he'd be tackled. Good effort from him. Here's Langford. Clean set of heels. Spearing ball into the middle. Collier had to go back and hunt the footy. Now he gets a look to go forward. Out wide. Found Stanton. Long kick, remember. Standing over the top here to Danaher. And this is a good distance for Joe Danaher. He likes to kick it and kick it a long way. He's more comfortable with this range than the closer stuff, I reckon.
He has looked a little bit better with his set shot shooting in 2017. I mean, he's had the big hook normally that it goes from very much from left to right with the hooking action, but he seems to be getting through the ball more so, but with the ball a little bit slippery, much harder to grip on your instep.
Have a look at him from just inside 50. Good contact, accuracy, salutes the crowd as well. Joe Danaher, goals, 3 in a row for the Bombers. So Danaher making really good connection with that footy in difficult conditions, as we saw at the other end with Wiedering. They've kicked 3 in a row now. And you've got to like the way they look here at the moment with this 8-point lead.
You see anything very different in his technique, BT. He's certainly making better contact and is going much straighter off the instep.
And just a little more compact, and I reckon getting the guided hand down a little lower to the footy, especially in these conditions, Lee.
Yep.
Clever from Heppel, worked it forward to Stanton, and Gibbs desperately to Simpson, Murphy. Lightning handball to Doherty, low ball to the outer side to Silvani with those clean hands.
Oh, thank you.
Slippery ball, wet conditions. Been raining since late yesterday afternoon in Melbourne. Cripps, good to see him back out playing for the Blues again. Some doubt during the week as to whether he would take his place in the side. Still just 22, but playing like a veteran. Casbolt, big fly, almost. And the boundary line will beat Ambrose. Just speaking of Danaher, kicked the last, starting to deliver on all expectations, and they've been large, but last year became the first Bomber in a while to kick 40 in a season since Matty Lloyd back in 2008. 43 for the season. Cruiser almost dragged himself to ground. Watson works it into the middle, but Plowman for the Blues. Little ball over the top to a running Simpson.
Been good in defence, Plowman, this year. Simpson threw it out the side door, did really well to Williamson. Williamson round the corner, didn't get good purchase on it. McGrath did for the Bombers, bangs it back in towards Langford, offhand, Orazio, Fantasia to Zaharakis, now Stanton, and to finish it off, Heppel. Back inside to Merritt, Silvani had him from about 5 metres away. He read it beautifully, the turnover complete. Risky kick from Gibbs. Rowe had trouble getting hold of the footy. Watson held his composure, spun in the tackle, got the handball out. Goddard got bowled over. It's on here at the G. Silvani went in hard and with the head, and down low was good play from him. In the end, no result for either side, but certainly a commitment to win the footy.
Not going to be too many easy balls today. I mean, if you want to be an outside player, you're not going to get too much ball, because the ability to control possession and link up, particularly by hands, is going to be really, really tough.
Tough afternoon for both sides. Leuenberger, Cruiser, no clean win. Heppel, though, beneficiary out the back, quickly to Merritt inside the forward pocket. Will skip over.
One of those things, like Merritt often plays on that sweeping position on the defensive side of the contest, and the ball can be fed out to him. I just think it's so important that the Carlton half forward who's coming up takes his body, because he is so good at that sweeping role.
I think Hooker's nominated. He has. Bit of confusion early. Put his hand up. Fantasia chasing hard at the football. White threw his body in. Watson, hands and knees, gets involved.
Yeah, how could you have thought that the fact that you can't jump third up against the ruckman has added all this confusion to the ruck issue?
The umpire was searching around, and Carl Hooker had both hands up in the end, and then just was forced to go and find Cruiser. This time Leuenberger, clearly the Bombers ruckman. Chance for Langford, dealing with Williamson, the teenager, then Cruiser off the ground, almost a diving mark for Brown. Works it over to Gleeson. Going back with a flight. Goddard, one of the 6 #1 draft picks out on the ground. 2 for the Bombers, 4 for the Blues. Bit of a sit opportunity for Hooker out the back. Not quite. Might have given away the free kick, attempting to do so.
It's interesting that he actually played the T position, Goddard, and tried to get it out the front of the... I reckon you just got to have the long shot, because the chance of a pack mark 20 metres out is almost nil today.
I agree, and I reckon those in the pack, Lee, like Hooker in that case, trying to get over the top, as we've got a 50-metre penalty here. Better just concentrating on bringing it to the ground today.
Well, that too, yeah. Bringing it to the front, so it's don't even try and mark it at the point you're making. Yeah,
Almost.
just try and just flat hands.
Absolutely.
And your ground level players know exactly where it's going.
It's just going to be really difficult to grab anything that's...
Very hard to convince forwards to do that.
It is, because...
Don't try and mark it, just flat hand forward.
Even when all odds are against them, they think they're still going to turn the clock. No doubt about that.
Unless you're Jimmy Bartell, flat it down to the boys in front.
Exactly. What is the key, Jimmy, to these conditions, do you reckon, as an individual player?
I think you just got to assume that everyone's going to make a mistake and get closer to the ball. Don't start peeling off for the handball or expect the easy kick to come your way.
Oh, he knows about the weather and playing in it, Jimmy Bartell, and just good to see him copping a bit today in the stationary position. No marquee down there for Jimmy. High ball. Leuenberger, a couple of bites at it. Being paid by umpire Troy Pennell here.
Just drop the ball. Come on.
So So Leuenberger, Danaher wide and was open then, but he went the contested ball to Rowan Hooker. Hooker did well, knocked it. Zaharakis, fast hands. Goddard couldn't get on the end of it. Spills here for Gibbs. He goes the low spiral into open territory and getting back. I think it's Hocking, or Kelly it was. So quarter time, not a lot of goals, 4 of them collectively. 3 to the Bombers and 1 to the Blues. 3-1-19 Essendon here at quarter time. Carlton 1-5-11. The Bombers by 8 points at the G. Okay, ready to go. The MCG with this second quarter. Players out 30 seconds early, wanting to get going. Not incredibly cold in Melbourne with the rain, but here we go, second quarter. Hocking, Merritt. Little controlled kick around the corner to Heppel. Umpire might have just got in the way there momentarily. Cut the run of Heppel. Merritt just comes through, just went and got the footy. How easy and clean was that? Now Heppel, time to steady and look. Put the ball out in front of Langford here. Giving chase on him at the moment. A couple of Blues players, one of those McCready, just couldn't control it, Langford. It's a reasonable kick considering the conditions by Heppel.
So Leuenberger, his first run for the Bombers this year. 3 ins for the Bombers, Leuenberger, Brown and Hocking. Langford, a bit to deal with. Ball is underneath the player that's got him turned to the side.
Start that meter, thanks guys. Hit the meter.
Rain continues. Been heavy rain overnight throughout the morning. Collier. Going to be a bit of a grind.
Thanks, Trev.
Cripps the first for the Blues.
Hey, guys.
And then Parrish, McDonald, Tippenwoody and Danaher. Got the last 3 of the first term. Bombers by 8 at quarter time. Well done in the end, Williamson. One of the teenagers out there for the Blues. Chance for Brown. Tough in these wet conditions to go the journey. Going to put it up top of the square. Moves it home for the Bombers. Danaher front spot. Already kicked 1 this afternoon. Won't add to it here. Cruiser. Well, he might actually. Tried to work it through. Fantasia. Not quite. Hooker. Bobbling ball. Parrish. Heppel. Tough for Williamson, and Fantasia just pings him to ground.
Yeah, the quick kick out of the pack is just tough to execute because there's so many bodies that you've got to avoid on the way out.
Thanks, guys.
No ruckman making contact there. We heard the call from the umpire from Simpson off the ground. Here's Stanton going towards goal row. Very lucky that Langford didn't run into that. Crowd wanted deliberate, and it was not. So boundary throw in Bomber end. They've kicked the last 3 goals of the game here, Essendon. And these 2 ruckmen have been going at it all game so far. They lock arms again. That's why the umpire's not paying a free. They're both locking onto each other. So very hard to determine a free out of that. Numbers are difficult to see. Some people are tweeting today here at the ground. The Carlton numbers particularly with this jumper. Parrish, like the jumper, love the jumper. Touched right on the line by Rowe.
Yeah, some bold white numbers instead of the outline numbers. Probably would be a little bit easier to see, or a lot easier to see, in fact.
Bit of a wait for Marchbank as Heppel closed. Rain momentarily lightens, but it was already a very difficult game. Has become more complicated in the weather. A couple of one-on-ones. In the end, Leuenberger knocks it away from Cruiser. Boundary line beats Jared Pickett. No one at all on the outer side. In fact, not a player on this side of the middle of the ground. You could run a line from goal square to goal square, and all on the members' side of the MCG. Cruiser knocked down. Chance for Hocking. Give to Heppel was good. He in turn to Merritt. Bit of a high up and under to land at half forward for the Bombers. Hooker had a few to deal with. Collier did well, worked his way through traffic. Heppel, little give. Hooker, left foot into the pocket. Danaher just worked his way away from Sam Rowe. And this is, for a lefty, tricky enough.
And again, the ball was fed out to Merritt on that sweeper side, the Essendon defensive side of the contest. I reckon Carlton have to be taking his body. He's just too good.
The way he hooks the ball, Danaher, he's not hooking as much. This is almost an impossible kick for him. Kicks this, he needs the ball to go like an arrow.
The last one did go straight, so maybe he's got rid of the hook yips.
Well, he's hit that.
Went
straight again.
It went straight. No, he seems to have making much kick. Well, he's virtually kicking the ball straight now.
That's what he's saying to himself there. He said,
yeah.
Hang on, I aimed there. That's exactly what I set out to do.
Expecting the hook.
Yep. So you've got to convince yourself that your ball does what it does every time. And in the rain, that's a very difficult thing. Is it going to swing as much as it normally does? Probably not. Am I going to strike it a bit better? Probably not. So there's all those variables.
With the wet ball too, the ball across the boot, laid across the boot, which players tend to excel in from the cute angles. That's a much harder kick when the ball's slippery as well. All those kicks are much harder if the ball's got a bit of moisture on it.
Casbolt, Leuenberger, second go at it, Casbolt. Brown was there, picked up in the end by McGrath, gave it to Stanton, quick kick by Stanton, Parrish, great hands, Heppel, took a little too long. Was he driven forward? No, Cripps rightly awarded the free there. It was all over him. Handball out wide to Williamson, who's looked very, very comfortable on debut today. He's had 8 touches of the footy already, the first gamer. So that's a real good effort. Curnow, wide here. Doherty the run. Sees out wide White. White got a good opportunity. Collier closes, but not enough to stop the mark. Now White from beyond 50. Murphy, just a little chip over the top. Ignored. Cripps ignored. Now comes Cruiser. Beautiful patience by White to wait for something to transpire that he knew he could make.
Well, his direct opponent, here's the tackle that creates the turnover, the chase down tackles from behind, just so valuable. But Cruiser, Leuenberger's in that part of the ground, a little bit of blocking, forwards working together. Cruiser, he's not. Leuenberger's certainly not going to be able to defensively cover him on the loop.
Matthew Cruiser, kick of only 25 to 30 metres, just a little bit of angle as you can see there. In he comes, looking for the Blues second, got it. Good start for the Blues, edging it back to 4 points. The big fella, Cruiser, very, very valuable today. And made that look easy in the end. So the Blues with just their second goal here at the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. And the patience shown by the defender in White there to wait was really impressive.
And that's the incident, the Crip run-down tackle on home. They're worth their weight in gold run-down tackles. I mean, a lot of tackles, player next to you picks up the ball where you just automatically tackle him, but the work to execute a run-down tackle is so valuable.
So Cruiser delivers what the Blues fans were hoping for. Mark tally, 44 to 14 in favour of the Blues. Blues take the advantage. Long ball, top of the square, chance for Cripps. Jimmy, you spoke about the mark tally at quarter time. 30 the difference now between the two sides.
Yeah, 40 of them uncontested. So Carlton, that last goal was a patient build-up. They're willing just to kick it around, and Lockie Plowman starting it down back with 9 effective kicks.
Great keep in there by McGrath. Gee, that was impressive to Watson. Here's Parrish, clean hands. Now he needs a clean foot as well. Orazio, Fantasia, dropped the mark, probably should have taken. And now the kick forward as Hooker desperately tries to keep it alive.
Yeah, with a dry ball, he takes that mark. It's just the degree of difficulty is so much harder when there's some pressure on your hands. And it's interesting here. This is Heppel going in. I'm going to see it. Heppel went in low, and it was ended up the below-the-knee free kick to Cruiser.
Look at off the ball there. White doing the work on Tip and Woody. But it all amounted to nothing because Tip and Woody read it just better than anyone else.
Same again.
It's been a lot of work going on off the ball, I've noticed. A lot of deliberate blocks. Look at the players off the ball here at the back.
All paired up, aren't they?
Yep.
McCready Tackled immediately. Parrish was the tackler, took him to ground, got some support to in the end from Watson.
No prior.
It's one of those things, if you are a player with a hard man-on-man
Separation, please. Thank you.
opponent, then actually getting there and blocking for a teammate is the way to play that.
Parrish did well to Danaher and turned to Goddard over the top, scrambling in the end. Simpson did well. Didn't concede, just tapped it down to himself. Knew he had time to recover. Hurried ball outside the defensive 50. Savani's got a couple to beat. Help arrives in the form of Petrevski-Seaton. He was tackled. Ball dislodged. Watson brilliant. Wanted Heppel almost to Zaharakis. And then James Kelly back to half forward. Bit of a wait for Pickett. Fumble. Back it comes to Essendon. Not sure what that was for in the end.
High tackle was the call.
So back to Orazio Fantasia. Okay. Pickett tackle over the shoulder of Fantasia, who's been outstanding in front of goals in recent times. Happy to concede, puts it into a dangerous spot. Hooker flew, Doherty sweeps to the outer side, and he's happy to go. Palmer, first time wearing a Blues jumper for points. Over the top, the one-on-one is Wiedering and Hurley. Wiedering just used his arm, tried to keep Hurley at bay. Ambrose arrives late. Well, in the end, it's Hurley holding his hand. He's gone down. So too is Wiedering. Goddard at half-back. Was it Wiedering and Hurley that collided?
Or was it? Yes, it was, I think.
As well.
An accidental contact of heads, I reckon it was there. They're both out behind the play here at the moment. Merritt got taken forward, but the umpire said he didn't dispose of the footy. So a free kick, Silvani. Getting back to his feet, I think, is Hurley now. But I think it's Wiedering still down. In they come. Hammering ball here from the Blues. And Williamson misses. So
Impressive left foot kick, isn't he, BT Williamson? He's got plenty of the ball and he looks like he can use it.
Accidental collateral damage there as Hurley copped it, and Wiedering as well. Now, Wiedering is still down. That's him at the bottom right screen there.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
moving his head, which is good.
Like a pinball head onto Wiedering's head onto Hurley.
Hurley immediately looking for the blood. There it
like
is.
A headbutt, wasn't it?
Yep. So this will be a blood rule. So we'll have a hold up here as Wiedering is on the very far side of the ground. So this will take quite a while for him to come off. Hurley looks okay, getting the okay from the trainer there that he's good, even though he's got a bit of a golf ball popping up there on the forehead. Wiedering will come towards Jimmy Bartel. Hurley looks okay, Jimmy, doesn't he?
Yeah, the doctors have checked him. He's all clear at the moment. He's just ran it off there. So, yeah, like you said, a decent golf ball will be coming up on the melon soon.
And Wiedering with the blood oozing. So he'll get that stapled. Bit of hemorrhoid cream if they need to do it quickly. Home.
Hard to believe Wiedering's still a teenager, given what we've seen him do and how he plays, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at the doctors. Now, the umpire asked the doctor then, are we done with regards to the concussion? Have you observed him? Are you happy? So the safety for players as these things become more frequent is excellent. We do have the best medical staff going in Australia in the AFL footy, no question about it. In the meantime, the kick up towards Doherty. Parrish did well. Simpson around the corner with the little one. Here's Gibbs down low. Had to have two bites at it. Difficult, slippery cake of soap it is at the moment. Murphy just kept it rolling forward. Opportunity for Pickett. He too went the soccer. And here's Hurley responding.
So White just too far out. Happy to move the ball on. Simpson. You know he's going to drift onto his left. Who's working for him at the moment? Cruiser's calling for it deep. Wright's pleading for it in the pocket as well. Off a couple of hands. Palmer a fumble. Now a give to Gibbs. Banana ball from about 40 inside the square. It is a tough old afternoon at the MCG. Just the one goal in this second term. 3-1 in the first. It's a 2-point ball game. Bombers led by 8 points at quarter time. Blues pressing. Danaher and Cruiser. Cruiser knocks it down. Watson fast to Goddard, quickly onto the boot, off the chest of Marchbank, chasing Williamson. On debut, the youngster works to his left. Tackle is good from Hooker. Ball dislodged. Still it's in. Whistle. Nothing doing yet. And Collier, little give to Goddard. All the players had stopped. Merritt, a standing start. Works it to the wing. Rowe. Second grab, third grab. That'll do.
Rowe. Doherty. Interesting how all the players stopped then as if they heard a whistle. Williamson. 8 touches of the footy, debuting today. Fine performance, difficult conditions. Cruiser, opportunity here. Pickett looking dangerous down in front as well. Petrevski-Seton there. Kelly kept it working forward. Kerridge round the corner. Silvani over the top. The fist. Got to go, Ambrose, and he did.
Bit of a field position game. It's very hard to score when there's all the players on one end of the field, but just got to lock the ball in and make sure that Essendon just can't rebound you quickly down to that open forward line.
James Kelly, who Jimmy Bartell played a lot with, gained 296 today. Arrived as one of those top-up players last year, played 20 of 22 matches, runner-up, equal runner-up in the best and fairest. Remarkable to see him going around again. Cruiser quickly front spot, couldn't quite tap it in the direction he was hoping for. Wanted Murphy, just went through the hand. Watson tumbles the ball to defensive side of the wing for the Bombers, wide again. So the Blues continue to mark the football. Driving ball 20 out. Casbolt, who had it a long time, then just lost it at the critical moment. The ball spills. Petrevski-Seton off a boot. Murphy went low. Murphy was brilliant. Murphy's got another. Blues have got 3. And the Blues are in front. That was clever from Murphy. Had no option to go high. Thought about it quickly. Realised there was one option on. Knew that it would skid through. Boot to ball. Goal to Murphy. Blues in front. 10 to play, second term. Conditions tough. Blues, as Jimmy Bartell has alluded to, marking the ball. Almost 3-1. 52 to 15.
This is the Murphy goal. It's just really kicked out of the pack. Great opportunist goal, but what they did was they locked the ball into their forward half for probably 5 minutes, and then eventually were able to generate a shot.
Real clever. So good at that sort of thing these days. Certainly those sort of opportunist goals, as Lee described them, have improved greatly in the last 15 years. Right. Even in the last probably 5 years. This one's heading towards the boundary line, not quite over, as Mitch Brown was able to pick it up, keep it alive. Knocked away from Hooker there. Watson to Heppel. Heppel, the sidestep, can work inside to Watson. Watson got Goddard, the runner, as well. Beautiful little kick. Goddard will deliberately try and skid this end over end, and he does. A beautifully calculated goal from Goddard.
How good was the kick from Watson to Goddard? Did not break stride.
I thought it was going to be a handball home. Watson had the confidence that he could pull that kick off and not slow the stride of Goddard, so it was really well done. And then for Brendan Goddard to think, it's wet, I'm 55 out, I know a dry day I could probably go the journey, but to just get it in line, and I know the weather will do the rest.
As soon as Essendon got out here, they got out of the crowded part of the ground. The Carlton defensive line was back okay, but just the sideways kick, the creative kick from Watson to Goddard, he was able to skid it through.
Fourth lead change of the afternoon with that brilliant goal from Watson setting it up, Goddard finishing it off. Sliding grab from Daisy Thomas. Now Cripps just impeded as he went to kick the ball. Might work out for Petrevski-Seton. Needed a couple of grabs. Marks in front of Gleeson. Little give. Now Gibbs has the responsibility. Called for the football. Pulled it to the left. Level ball game at the MCG between two great rivals. 4-3 plays 3-9.
Back into play very, very quickly here, the Bombers. Hooker protecting Heppel, pretending he was going to mark it, but all the time protecting the back of Heppel. And he was probably verbally encouraging him to come back with a flight as well. Heppel down the line here. High footy. Marked by Plowman. Just getting better and better for the Blues, Lockie Plowman. Taken a while for him to get going, but here he is with a kick to Thomas. Thomas out wide to Petrevski-Seton here. On red alert to hit up anyone that is short. He does that now to Reece Palmer. Late inclusion at the expense of Charlie Kernade today. looking for an overlap runner, didn't get anything of it, so he just goes long with the footy. A lot of Bomber defenders there, picked up by Gleeson, the ricochet to the boundary. Just wanted to ask Jimmy Bartell, you played 233 games with James Kelly. What have been his thoughts about continuing on this year, Jimmy?
Yeah, he had a genuine think about it at the end of the year, and as he said, he's John Farnham. He's going around again for another tour, but down back, he's great experience for young McGrath to learn off.
One more time for James Kelly. Phenomenal year last year. One more year, perhaps.
Come on now.
Johnny Farnham.
Well, if he's playing the Johnny Farnham card, he's going to be playing when my kids are playing. John Worsfold, terrific year last year. Who knows what they can produce in 2017. Unbeaten to date. But right now, they've got a battle on their hands. Level with the old rival. Merritt couldn't take it cleanly. Cripps almost went off the ground. Heppel, hands on the footy, got Cripps to beat. Help arrives. James Kelly, who we just spoke about, runs into the tackle of Reece Palmer. Palmer wasn't going to let him go.
I'll take your half chances. It was a sitter then, Kerridge. I mean, nothing's a sitter with the slippery ball, but nevertheless had the chance to take an uncontested chest mark.
Well, lots of rain coming as you have a look at the radar. Chance for White. Out of sight. Little give to Murphy. Loops the handball over. Tough in the end for Doherty. Slap back. Well done, Doherty. New row was there. Murphy. Little shimmy. Down the line he goes. Through a couple of hands. Still at half forward for the Blues. Casbolt clean give. Kerridge fed it back to Curnow. Onto the left boot. Inside 50. Dangerous spot for Essendon. They've got to be good. In the end, they will be good. Goddard, good user. Terrific kick over the top to Parrish.
So Parrish here at half-back. Zaharakis wide. Short little one here to Langford, but didn't pull it off, Zaharakis. And so back to a stoppage. 6:44 to half-time, scores level.
Matthew, you up? Thank you.
David Zaharakis.
Let him run in front.
Leuenberger and Casbolt this time. Good knockdown by Casbolt. Gibbs told by his teammate to go that away. Don't go back into the middle from there. It's probably the right call and a good decision. Matty Wright applauding it.
Guys, interesting that Carlton's playing the kick mark game. Essendon are ranked #1 in the competition with 130 marks, but they've only taken 19 at this stage.
Interesting. Joey Danaher there. Bluey McKenna as well. Here's Watson, Curnow, Gibbs, just kept it rolling forward here. Just playing the wet conditions a little bit better. Probably the Blues at the moment, Lee. Do you think the little things, the knock-ons?
Yeah, well, they've certainly got field position. I mean, they're having the 25 inside 50 to 16. Now, that's only a number, but all that gives you an idea. The ball has been in their forward line a lot, but like that Goddard goal, you just can't get rebounded from the quick movement out of a packed defence.
Heppel, high ball. Donald Tippenwoody in amongst it goes. Clever knock. Hooker over the top. Goddard needs to get rid of it quickly. He did. Got the overlap here. If he wants to use him on that occasion was Ambrose. Went for Zaharakis instead. Turn around, spearing ball. Touch. Heppel won't be paid the mark. Comes back to Goddard. Kicked one from here a moment ago. Didn't get all of it this time. But Langford out wide. Pursued by White. Saw him coming. And not happy with the way he was presented with the footy.
And the rain getting heavier.
Here it is. Dominate, Levi. Dominate. Okay.
Amazing how much rain this ground can handle now, Lee. It's been raining overnight. Still immaculate condition.
Go straight through drains like a sieve, the modern grounds.
30 years since there's been a puddle here.
Yeah, phenomenal. Here's a chance for Zaharakis. Good handle on the football. Quick shot at goal. Goes across the face. Skips out over just in the end. Marchbank and McDonald, Tippenwoody.
Because it hasn't got the double. The double is rain and wet and mud.
Yeah.
There's no mud, it's just wet.
And what they've been able to achieve here at the G has really gone out to all suburban grounds as well, where they're gradually doing them up. I know in Ballarat at the moment they've got all grounds looking like the G in terms of drainage.
Bryce Gibbs trying to work it into the hands of Marchbank. Did in the end, just a hurried ball. Chance now for Ambrose. Takes on a couple. Works the ball back to Collier. Quick kick. Kerridge fires the handball inside. Dangerous ball. Watson's clever. Little give on the up. Wright tried to get a boot in there. Couldn't quite. Collier watches on. Bagley goes at the football. Now a bit of a foot race. Silvani. He gets worked off the ball by Brown. Kelly gave it off to Gleeson. Tackles on by Williamson. Brought his man to ground. And the Deliberate fumble, if you like, from Brown. Umpire didn't want to know about it. Throw it back in.
And Jared Pickett for Carlton in that part of the ground as James Kelly. I reckon you almost position yourself with James Kelly. Learn off the veteran player what are the best holes to fill in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, exactly what Jimmy was saying, Lee. So it's a good point. A lot of experience out there in gentleman James Kelly.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Is he a gentleman, by the way, Jimmy?
He'd say that.
Short and concise. Kerridge. So 4 3/4 minutes left.
Thanks, guys. Thank you,
Scores level. Reece Palmer there, and there is James Kelly.
Guys, they brought Michael Hurley off just to give him the all clear with the head clash with Wiedering, but he's been stuck on the sidelines for the last 6 minutes.
296th game, James Kelly. So free kick here for the Bombers. Interesting to see whether his former Geelong teammates, if they're not playing on the day, whether they might come and have a look at James get his 300th game.
Yeah, certainly an enormous performance over a long journey. 3 premierships along the way. Huge service to Essendon in a tough year. Now Cripps. So we've got 4 minutes and change before the long break. Works it to half forward, going back with a flight right, but desperate stuff from Gleeson. Stops the Blues push forward. Hurley. Not sure whether he's pleading to get on or arguing as to the instructions he's been given. The rain continues to tumble down. Leuenberger won the tap, knocked in the Heppel direction. Quick thinking off the ground and then a skidding ball to the wing.
So just with Hurley on the bench, we just saw a shot of him there before, trying to get on the ground. And with the ball at one end for so long in these conditions, no goals, no sort of ball-ups, opportunities close by that they can get on easily.
You'll be prepared to give up a man, don't you, and leave the congestion to get Hurley back on the ground.
So at the end of the game, and it's tight, be wary that this is going to be the order of the day, and it's going to be difficult, so have the right players on the ground.
We often think, don't we, off when the goal kicker comes off the ground, but that's because 3 players or 4 players probably from each team come off the ground after a goal, but with very few goals, that interchange system can't work.
I think Wiedering was passed a jacket. I'm not sure whether that's to keep warm or to signify perhaps no more action before half-time. There he is, putting the jacket on. Merritt, as always, beautiful by foot. Soft ball to Watson. The way Zach Merritt kicks, you reckon he'd be a good golfer off the tee or around the greens? Driving the ball or needing touch. Hooker sweeps the handball. Chance for Danaher. Intercepted by Fantasia. Slides over the synthetic grass.
What do you reckon, Haim? What do you think, Jimmy Bartol, with Jacob Wiedering?
Yeah, not sure at the moment, but 3 minutes to go to the half. They could be keeping him warm and maybe assessing in the rooms.
Okay. Danaher beaten to it by Cruiser. Danaher went early and Cruiser read it perfectly. Simpson around the corner. Pickett had a couple of times. McGrath underneath the Pickett tackle. Rolls into the side.
He looked like he lost a little bit of consciousness for, you know, a few seconds at least. So, yes, they're making sure there isn't a concussion issue is clearly what they would be monitoring.
15, play on!
Heard the umpire. Bit of a wait for Heppel. Slaps it back. Leuenberger. Kick stopped by Simpson. Got kicked himself. McCready. Tough ball to deal with. Heppel. Clean. Give to Watson. Heard the umpire again. Now a chance. Langford. A little shimmy to Merritt on his wrong side. Again. Not as it wanted it to be. Slap away. Chance for Kelly. Well, again, just a long wait for all the defenders. In the end, Rowe couldn't knock it away. Plowman went and got it. Fantasia gets him. Desperate stuff. They're trying to keep it in. Williamson, a little paddle to the boundary. Thomas and Zaharakis fight over the footy. 2.5 to play. 27 apiece. A wet Sunday afternoon at the G.
What a kick by Kelly to keep it alive there. Kade Simpson got a kick in the shin. He looks okay now. Just on the left of your screen there, you can see him still limping. Should be trying to back out of this is Cale Hooker. A Razio Fantasia in there, trying to shovel it out. Carlton happy for it not to come out in the end.
Mine.
I get the feeling you like Orazio Fantasia as a name.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, back here.
I do.
Separate the meter, please.
There he is.
Thank you.
There's been a live wire for the Bombers last year, this year, and has given them something they didn't perhaps have. Soccer off the ground. Was that Merritt flashing through there? Might have been. Here's Stanton, one-on-one with Simpson. Simpson a little sore and proppy. Langford was there. Tried to pick up the ball, the Bombers. Gibbs went and got it when no one else could pick it up, but stuck it straight down the throat of Hurley. Hurley's going to go back to Heppel. Heppel look for the left. Anyone going to the pocket? Merritt short. Heppel wants to go long. Does. Hooker's got a bit of a jump at this. Both hands on it. Couldn't reel it in. Free kick, the Blues. Get that ponytail right.
Well, scores have been level for just about 11 minutes. Williamson, the man who's about to take the kick, on debut for the Blues. Another teenager getting his opportunity. 10 disposals has been thoroughly impressive. Watson, McGrath, Brown, step back inside. Watson again. Couldn't take it cleanly, worked it in the Heppel direction. His handball intercepted. Curnow wants Kerridge. Again, hard to take cleanly. McGrath went to ground. Ball bobbles about the place. Leuenberger sits on the footy. That's not coming out.
Straight up, guys. Rux, Matt. Who's the other? Carlton, Ruck. No Carlton. Matt, you're up here.
Well, in the end, umpire Fisher saw Cruiser late. Leuenberger wanted to throw the ball up, say quick. No one's nominating. It wasn't the case. Cruiser had his hand up behind the umpire. Couldn't be seen. So at quarter time was 3-1 to 1-5. It's 4-3 to 3-9 now. Bombers' 8-point lead at quarter time has been whittled away.
Knocked on the head there, the Bomber player. Couldn't quite see who it was. Not happy about it. Gibbs. It was Merritt. Thomas. Burst through, taken away by Curnow. So with 45 seconds remaining, Ambrose, centre half back, looks for the long ball over the top to Langford. Didn't quite get the length. Well done the Blues to keep it alive. So here go the Bombers and Danaher. Beautiful pick up, Danaher. Handball, Petrevski-Seaton. Clearing kick under pressure. Casbolt did well to hold front position. Ambrose, his direct opponent. Casbolt ends up with it. Kick around the corner. Here's an opportunity for Pickett. He takes on McGrath, the #1 pick. Pickett did well, kept it alive, got some traction with the spinner. But it was an impossible angle.
So the Blues back in front. 5 lead changes for the afternoon, and at half-time it will be the Blues just. Round 3 is the Bombers coming in unbeaten. The Blues searching for their first win. Question mark over Jacob Wiedering.
He doesn't look well.
Head collision with Michael Hurley. Yep. Was on the ground for a long time. Went down into the rooms for a long time.
I think the 20-minute assessment here is happening with Jacob Wiedering home. I don't think they're prepared to put him back on until they've had that look and the 20 minutes to work out, and with half-time approaching quickly, that's common sense.
They don't still work with the sub. With the sub, it was a 20-minute. You had 20 minutes to replace him with the sub. I'm not sure now whether. I think it's just a question of whether the medical people rule him out or will keep monitoring you throughout the game.
Well, Jimmy Bartell's going down to Michael Hurley. He was the man who collided with Jacob Wiedering, and Jimmy's with Michael now.
Michael, Carlton have had you under the pump. You know, you've been defending all that half. How are you going to change that around?
I think it's one loss in the midfield. If we just get the ball forward into our half, I feel like we have the ground set up pretty well, but it's all about just winning the footy.
And the head's okay, mate?
Yeah, it's all fine. I think the young fella copped one, but yeah, it'll be fine.
And it was difficult to get back on the ground there for 5 or 6 minutes?
Yeah, just found the game was stuck in the other pocket. It was just too hard to get on, so it was a bit frustrating.
Good luck for the second half, mate.
Cheers.
Michael Hurley, very good of him to give us some time here as we go to half-time. Kate Simpson and the Blues going down to have a think about things. The Bombers and the Blues, very, very tight game. Half-time here. Carlton lead by just 1 point.
And Joe would be thinking, gee, New York was pleasant last
I
year.
having fun today or not? The stimulation of it all is still there, but certainly just so much harder when the ball is not sticking.
Second half is underway. Bombers trying to keep an unbeaten record in 2017. Blues searching for their first win.
Back, Carlton. Thank you.
#1 clearance man in the AFL last year. Happy to try and spiral one forward. Doesn't quite get hold of it. Through the hands of Collier out the back. Leuenberg. Gurr does the roving and around the body to the wing. Front spot in the end, Plowman, who's been terrific all afternoon, taking
Hold there, Kale. Hold.
a lot of responsibility.
Handled the ball much more cleanly than most players on the ground when he's had a chance to mark it. And again, wet, slippery ball, very hard to mark, even the chest one unopposed.
I call Plowman was Marchbank in the end that grabbed hold of the football. Plowman's been doing the sweeping work at halfback. Marchbank wearing the long sleeves as well. A few of them, Simpson, Silvani, Marchbank, Plowman. Whenever you think of Sauce, you think of the long sleeves. There's Silvani Jr. at the top of screen, might end up in his direction. Petrevski-Seton feeds it inside. Simpson on the right boot. Not a lot of distance, almost for Brown. Then clever little slap in the Bagley direction. Big tackle from Gibbs. Big way to start the third term.
That's the way to earn the shot. It's very hard to generate a shot in any other manner, but the run-down tackle from behind is really well. Had the prior opportunity, took 2 or 3 steps. Great tackle.
So Gibbs to try and extend this Blues lead, kick their fourth, 3-10 to 4-3. Rain, if anything, tumbling harder now. Distance shouldn't be a problem. Wet ball will be a problem. Can he navigate his way through it? 1 goal for the year to date. Gibbs hooks to the left. 1 point is now a 2-point lead.
Hard to generate your set shots from your 30 metres out. So and straight in front. Got to be able to take them, Carlton, if they're to win the game. They're doing everything else.
Hooker flying for a mark that he was just never going to hold. Unusual. Petrevski-Seton. Cripps. Little flick out here. Tippenwoody eventually got hold of it. Little heavy on the handball to Parrish. Parrish tries to make it look good. Did well in the end, Darcy Parrish. Although Gibbs stepped in the way. Under a little bit of pressure here. White out of bounds on the full, so this will be a Goddard free. Now, he's gone around the man on the mark. The young fella let him go in the end. Plowman tidies up. Petrevski-Seton tried the drop kick off the ground, then did Cripps. We know he's good at a lot of things. Gibbs, soccer off the ground. Bagley was caught just a moment ago. This time just doesn't try to do too much. Heppel tried to back out with the footy, keeping it alive. Well done, Gibbs. Very smart. Was Silvani. Just gains another 30 metres. Here's Dale Thomas. Strong run at the footy. Got rid of it as well. Simpson on his wrong boot. Desperation dive. Good tackle in the end by Bagley. And now Merritt. Defensive 50. So it's going to be real hard to kick goals, as Lee just said. Opportunities directly in front from the set shot are gold here today. Gibbs again. Stanton. Simpson almost happy to find the boundary, and he does.
There's a bit of a he's played it deliberate. That was that's why not deliberate, but they didn't try hard enough to keep it in. But that's why I think the umpires have a bit of common sense. It's just so hard to control the footy in these conditions. You've got to give the player a much bigger benefit of the doubt.
So we saw a shot of Wiedering just sitting on the bench. He's still listed on the champion data stat sheet as off with the blood rule. Hasn't been back on. Kelly driving ball towards half forward. Leuenberger and Cruiser. Help arrives. Plowman knocks it to ground. McDonald, Tippenwoody. He moved to the right, lost the football. Holding the ball. Blues defence is holding up well. Marchbank at half back. Long ball to the wing. Front spot Ambrose. Casbolt knocked it forward. Chance for White. Happy just to skip over.
So Wiedering's still on the bench. Now the 20-minute rule still does apply.
It does.
So it's about expiring as we speak, Hames. So
he looks like he's going to play.
He's free to come back on. He looks alert and ready to go.
Jacket has come off.
Yep. So I can only think they were waiting for that 20 to expire.
James Kelly got a couple to beat. Petrevski-Seton. Also Murphy doing the tackling. Curnow.
Well, what's the 20? I mean, we know the 20 metre was about the sub. You can put the sub on while you're looking for 20 metres, but it was sub.
No, it was more about giving the doctors an assessment time without putting immediate pressure on them. So giving them 20 minutes to assess without the pressure of having to get them back there.
Not a rush decision.
Yes.
Off the ground, Kelly. Again to half forward. McDonald, Tippenwoody, brilliant to Heppel. Long ball. Off to the right. So 3-11 to 4-4. Blues by a point in a weekend where inaccuracy has hurt sides. Yesterday, the West Coast here, 8-17. And the Demons yesterday, 13-19.
Yeah, a lot of rain in the second half of the game here yesterday between Richmond and the West Coast Eagles. Didn't help things. Off hands Watson. Got enough bend on the ball to straighten it up a bit, but getting back is White, being prominent today.
Anthony, you're right now.
Simon White in game 79 for him. Low ball, making it difficult for Casbolt. Clean bowled him in the end. Popped it in the mush, I reckon.
Just a Wiedering watch, fellas. He's standing up, ready to go. He's coming on now for Reece Palmer.
Okay, head strap for those that have just joined us. Accidental head clash with Michael Hurley late in the second quarter. And that should almost be recalled, that boundary throw, and given the new rule that only the ruckman can compete. That's a correct decision, umpire.
The boundary almost were asked to throw it in 18 metres. I'm not sure where the 18 ever come from.
Maybe that's
Why is it not 17 or 19?
Maybe that's their average league.
No, they've asked if you can throw it in 18 metres is the request.
I want to get you down there and see whether you can do it. Wiedering, there he is, just on the deck. Gives Silvani a chance. Brown under enormous pressure to keep his feet. Neither did in the end. Picked up by Pickett. He was taken down as well. Danaher hung onto it for as long as he possibly could. Petrevski-Seaton, little left foot kick out. Needs a good bounce, got it. There it is, look at him, happy. Why not? So Petrevski-Seaton putting the Blues up by 7 points, and that's going to be the order of the day. Well, they're going to be the type of goals that you're going to kick from here on in these conditions. So well done to the young fella there. Exciting for him, just his third game of footy and just his second career goal.
Thanks, guys. Just the rucks in. Dice it out.
Just had the half step. Thought he was able to think about it, get it on his left boot to the open goal, which no use trying to give it to someone else and set him up. You've got to take the shot if you get a chance.
So the Blues by 7 points. Hocking worked it wide. Chance for Leuenberger.
Oh, that's
It's all the way forward.
Hooker's free.
2 arms around the body's a hole. Time back on.
That's what the umpires a lot of
It's a hole.
to look for, but it's a big decision, isn't it, when shots at goal are so hard to set up. It's a bad defensive error, but we'll probably try and find the vision just to second guess what the umpire's decision was.
Well, Hooker has thought about it for a while, executed it perfectly. Immediate response from the Bombers. Back we go to 1 point. So it was an off-the-ball free kick. We don't have that vision, so we won't be able to show it, I've just been told. So interesting to see. There wasn't a lot of remonstration from anyone other than Marchbank, but we can't show you what happened. Blues by a point, goal apiece in this third term. 2-1 in favour of the Blues in the second term, 3-1 in the first in favour of the Bombers.
So that free kick was so far off the footy.
And there's the Perry. Marchbank knows he's made a mistake because really there's very little chance of winning a contested mark, so don't give away a free kick 20 metres out.
Absolutely. Stanton backheeled at Matthew Lloyd style. Hocking.
Line. Straight up, guys.
Biggest lead of the match to the Bombers, 10 points. The biggest lead the Blues had enjoyed was that 7-point lead that Cale Hooker just brought back to 1.
Now 1. Soccer off the ground. Tip and Woody went without it. Simpson very desperate. Collier, fresh airy. Such was his haste to get rid of it.
Essendon.
Got hard free.
Hold there.
He's got the one-on-one with Hooker. Looking for Parrish outright. Right to do the defensive thing. Now, that'll stay inbounds. Don't think it'll go out. Parrish was waiting for it. He was hoping it did. He was there right till the end.
Essendon free kick.
And it didn't quite go over, so
Darcy Parish.
Darcy Parish out of the Geelong Falcons, just a footy factory down there with Mickey Turner, team of the century wingman for the Cats. High ball, up they go. Watson, knocked down Murphy. Boy, I thought there was, thank goodness there was someone there. Otherwise, that was an obvious one.
Cute little ball wide to right. Now a measured ball down the line. Casbolt, he and Ambrose shoulder to shoulder over their heads. A running Pickett. Thomas knocks it in his direction, slaps it forward again. This time Stanton is there. Heard the umpire. We didn't got a touch on it. Leuenberger tackled, got the kick away. Bouncing ball into the middle of the MCG. Plowman left it behind. Simpson fired it back to Plowman. Dropped the footy. Langford went searching. The youngster Williamson on debut. Stopped it. A chance for the Blues now. Murphy to Gibbs. McDonald Tippenwoody just did enough. Impeded the kick. Little give from Ambrose. Now to Goddard, works it back into the middle of the MCG. Hooker kicked the last, might set up another chance for Hocking. Fumbled it initially, gets back onto the left boot, looks low, tough ball for Danaher, skids out of bounds, left forward pocket, city end.
Bit of a wry smile there from Joey Danaher.
That Tippenwoody chase down, and McDonald Tippenwoody is just so quick with the ball, but he's quick when he hasn't got the ball to chase, which is what you need your speed to be doing as a team.
Darcy Parish on the run there, couldn't get a clear run at it. Now he does, just muscles his way through. Fed out the handball. Silvani's there under immediate pressure. Brown takes him to the ground. Ball pin, no prior.
You're still in, mate.
40
You're
out.
in. Okay, guys, I need the meter.
From the
Not
Bomber goal.
beautiful footy, but it's gripping, isn't it?
Absolutely. In desperate need of a win, the Blues haven't won one. Bombers looking to make it 3-zip. Something that they would be ecstatic to achieve.
Yes, I think we learn all the time. We're close games. That's what we want the most. Yeah, the spectacle of the game can't be great today, but the tension of the result has been alive from the start and still is, of course.
Cruiser straight down the throat of Gibbs. Leuenberger, wrong man. Now right, one-on-one here. Gleeson and Thomas, ricochet ball. Ambrose got one high. He'll receive the free. Had his head over the footy. Trying to win it.
Bump to the head.
Bump to the head, said the umpire.
So Ambrose, who started his career as a bomber, forward six, finds himself roaming pretty regularly now as a defender and doing a great job. It works at forward. Murphy, Doherty, McDonald Tippenwoody again. Defensive stuff. Brilliant from Anthony McDonald Tippenwoody. Hooker. Tackle. Gibbs was the tackler. Ball dislodged. Hocking doesn't know where the football is. Has it worked back underneath him?
Fine. Thank you.
One of those games where you've just got to pick, do I go in after the footy or do I wait till the ball to maybe slide out? It's one of those games where they're getting the ball just outside with a bit of space. It's going to be so much more critical.
Simpson onto the right boot. That's a rare thing. Casbolt almost. Silvani just hurried, didn't hit it as he would have liked. Now Marty Gleeson. An intercept into half forward. Front spot, Plowman knocked away by Heppel. Murphy knew exactly what he was doing. Went to McCready out of the air. Williamson on the end of it. Now to Plowman. On the wing. Drives the ball forward. Bagley almost. Well, he went up. Left it behind. Here's a chance for Pickett. Little fumble. Pickup was good. Tackle was brilliant for Bagley. Desperate stuff from Bagley.
Gee, it was a late whistle.
Well, it looked like he got his hand to the ball.
Yeah, it did.
Like a handball off.
Oh, I thought he was waiting. Crowd don't like it. In the meantime, McGrath just soaking it up here.
Let's have a look at, is that the one? No, not that one.
That's the free that's just been awarded in the back. Off the ground, ball back. There's Wright, tries to spin out of trouble, did it nicely, funny little kick. He had it set for a drop punt, and then he needed a little bit of hook on it, so he readjusted it. By that time he was caught. Now Thomas trying to sock it off the ground. Desperation stakes in here at the moment. Ball goes over the line. Jimmy Bartell, if I could ask you, it must be a frustrating day for both coaches today because they really have little impact when it's in so tight.
Exactly right. The game plan sort of goes out the window, whatever they normally plan for during the week with the conditions, but they get frustrated in fundamental areas, not keeping the ball in front, not tackling properly.
Over the top, Danaher knocked it down. Gibbs a little slap. Heppel almost. Langford went to go off the ground. Murphy got involved. Cruiser now picks it up, works it inside. Who's at home from a Blues point of view? Wiedering in a charge at the football. Brown took a while. Silvani tackled. Wiedering got it and Stanton got him. Silvani taken to ground. Chance for Pickett. He's got a lot of distance up, not a little distance forward. Merritt, Gibbs, bouncing ball. Tough, Heppel. Well, not 15, didn't go more than a couple of feet. Slap ball wide. Gibbs. Pick up was clean. Murphy measures things up. Banana ball. He couldn't have. He has. That is brilliant. Wow. He thought about it. He looked inside momentarily only and thought, I'm up for this. Not only did he think about it, he did it. The Blues by 7. After that individual piece of brilliance from the skipper. Tough afternoon to execute skills. That was 10 out of 10.
Let's have a look at this. This is a magnificent execution in any conditions, let alone a ball that's just sliding off your instep. But that is just a beautiful conversion. I think he looked inside, but really there's nothing on you. Might have gone. Those 2 goals that he's kicked out of nothing have just been exceptional today, Murphy.
I'm not sure he'll pin the photo of himself lying on the ground up on the wall at any stage. But nevertheless, big goal, brilliant goal, deliberate goal from Murphy. Trying conditions. Danaher spinning pirouette out of trouble. Gives it on to Heppel. Off the side of the boot. He wanted the long ball. He wanted the slider. The mark is taken in the end here by Langford.
You know, we'd say they rotate half a dozen footies after that goal. There's probably a ball that hasn't been used that's come back into play, so it's dry. So just for this next phase of play, you're playing with a dry ball. So that's stuck. That's a wet, slippery ball wouldn't stick like that.
Well, they counted the first goal from Petrevski-Seton almost instantaneously in this quarter, so they have a big opportunity here to dull the goal of Murphy. Langford steps to the plate and nails it. 2 goals apiece in this quarter. Back to a point. Langford scoring the second of the Bombers' goals in this 3rd quarter to keep it tight.
Demoralising, isn't it, when you finally grind out a goal, get your nose in front, and then immediately the opposition respond. They've done it twice. Hooker responding to the Petrevski-Seton goal, Langford to the Murphy goal.
Look at the chance. Good strong mark. Good centre bounce clearance. Good strong mark.
So back to a point again. Cruiser over the top, went looking for Curnow, found him. Heppel tackle was good. Ball dislodged. Langford was the goal kicker, finds himself in the middle of the ground. Cruiser around the corner. Palmer, Petrevski-Seton combined, then a little under Daisy Thomas. Heard the umpire, went off his mark. Play on the call. Into the pocket, Silvani and Bagley.
Well, listen, Justice evening up a holding free kick, the one that was paid to Hooker down the other end. Push back hard, Silvani, push back into Bagley, which actually just almost drew the free kick. Bagley just didn't want him to fall back at the footy. Good forward play.
So 2 goals, 5 for the year for Jack Silvani. Just the minor score this afternoon. Langford at set shot at one end, Silvani the other. One a major, one a minor score.
That person in the crowd then took a good mark. One grab, sticky fingers.
Play on, not 15, play on.
Clear call from the umpire, so they've got to keep going near the Bombers. Kelly around the corner, fortuitous. Hocking looked in the middle, nothing on, so goes wide to Goddard. Goddard can go over the top. Little one here to Leuenberger. Oh boy, goodness gracious me. Leuenberger, the big man, dropping what I can only describe as a put.
Yes, I think normally it is a put, but today every time you have to handle the ball, you really have to concentrate because it's just the degree of difficulty that makes it a little bit harder.
5-12 to 6-4 set shots for the afternoon. Carlton 1-4, Essendon 4-1. Murphy kicked a couple of rippers this afternoon. His last was outstanding. Little kick from Palmer went nowhere. Might get a second opportunity here. Handball's inside. Dislodged. Stanton tackle was good. McGrath went off the ground. Didn't go anywhere either. Kelly, Ambrose, Stanton. Chance for Palmer. Might go searching for Cripps. Cripps off the ground. All of this going nowhere fast. Now to half forward. Finally the Bombers go. McCready. Collier bears down on him. Doherty's got Hocking chasing. Ball exits to the outer side. A bit of a wait for Plowman. What's doing downfield? Well, Thomas provides the lead.
Dale Thomas with the free here. Was very close to 50 metres. Umpire said Thomas made no effort to get the footy. Here's Petrevski Seaton around the corner. Straightening ball. Couldn't quite mark it in the end there. Kerridge. Hotting up. Starting to transfer the ball from end to end a little. Just under 6 remaining here in the third. Carlton by 2. Heppel. Good pick up by Stanton. Had Simpson there for the immediate tackle though. And we'll have another ball up here.
Thanks, Ed. Rux, Matt,
Umpire Lee Fisher there.
Keep that meter.
Former AFL player himself, doing a great job these days, officiating the game.
On again. Thanks, Mark. Rux here.
Been a gripping contest from the get-go. 5-12 to 6-4. Jared Pickett works his way through a few Bombers. Chance for Murphy to slap it wide. Curnow ends up on the end of it. The Kelly tackle didn't stick. Front spot, Hurley went to ground. Wiedering. They collided in the second. They man each other up here. In the end, Kelly, cool head. Hedge for the boundary line. Not going to get there. Yes, it will. Skips over. Simpson.
That can't be. It can't be.
It is.
It can't be.
It is.
It can't be.
It is.
Boy, I reckon he tried harder to keep that in than kick it out.
Top of the square, long ball, Wiedering front spot, big fist comes from behind. Perfect result from Bombers' point of view. It is.
Be possible, Abe.
Let's have a look at this.
It was on the other side of the goals. That can't be. It's bounced 3 times.
3 bounces and over. Casbolt, Leuenberger. Here's a chance it'll give Merritt. Kelly stripped of the ball, through for another score. Blues by 3 points.
Arthur just bringing the rule. Last person to touch the ball, it goes against them. Lee Matthews very quiet. He's in on all the rule changes.
We're not far off that, to be honest, are we? It's almost last touches out, but not quite.
Casbolt free.
Play stopped. Marking infringement.
So the Bombers are under enormous attack here at the moment. Carlton coming and coming and coming. Good grab taken by Ambrose. Threw himself with the footy, Patrick Ambrose. Now sends it out northbound. Casbolt just tried to knock it forward. That was a sensible play. And let's have a look at that deliberate again. See where he was?
The question is,
Opposite side of the goals, Kelly.
the interpretation, of course, is did he try hard enough to keep the ball in play? Well, he certainly kicked it towards the boundary.
Well, I reckon
He didn't have to kick it towards the boundary. That's the other part of the equation.
in dry conditions, I reckon Simpson would have marked it. There you go.
Yeah, well, Simpson didn't try to keep it in. That
Cruiser. Boy, oh boy, goodness gracious me. Here's Hurley overrunning the ball. Wiedering is there as well. Thomas came through like a steam train. Hocking there to join him. Physical approach to the footy in here now. Tip and Woody. Out. Sticks it into the territory. Here's a Razio Fantasia. Plowman there as well. Got him in the tackle. Had a mate. Doherty, little squaring ball, too much juice on it here. Ambrose, low-level ball, Curnow, Murphy now, little chip kick. They wind up here. Wiedering will want to get it long and deep as quick as he can. Wiedering into the hot spot, high footy. Here comes Cruiser, off hands. Cripps in amongst it. Tried to back out with it, Pickett. No go. Palmer there as well.
hold on.
Leuenberger. And maybe a free kick to the Blues.
Come out, took him to ground. No, he had no try.
the ball had come out.
Thanks, Ed. It's your free.
And you took him to ground.
Yeah, just held on to the tackle too long. Held on to the
He's got to
Tommy.
have a prior, though.
Once
If he
the
doesn't have a prior, all he's got to do is make a reasonable attempt. Thanks, Reece. Mark is here.
Okay, that'll be a reasonable attempt. Ball felt clear. Tackle was continued with. Free kick.
The last 6 goals of this game have been goal for goal. Here is Palmer. 35 out, favouring his left. Oh, boy.
Can I just show you something? This is the Simpson chasing the football lead. The counter-argument is, did Kade Simpson try hard enough to keep it in?
Yeah, but, well, he didn't. But clearly he didn't. I don't,
That's the next argument. If you're just watching a ball trickle over, you didn't try hard enough to keep it in.
certainly didn't.
I'm all for the decision. That is just one I think they've got wrong.
You're all for the rule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hooker, not quite. Chance for Gibbs. Works it wide, right. Ducks back inside. Over the shoulder is Cripps. Here's a chance for the Blues. Little one from Palmer. Poor kick at goal moments ago. Thomas, hurried ball. Petrevski, Seaton, McGrath. A lot of talent shoulder to shoulder there. Wiedering went without it. Gleeson, Hurley, tackle is from Pickett. McGrath, tackle from Palmer. Another minor score.
For the record, I thought it was too harsh too. I mean, I'm just saying why the umpires adjudicated he didn't try hard enough to keep it in. But I think today you've got to be much more lenient than you'd be on a dry day.
If it was a dry day, I'd say he tried a banana kick. So he actually tried to spin the ball back towards the middle of the ground.
On a dry day,
it would have
tried to get it.
Yeah.
Kick a goal.
So, anyway, we'll probably move on.
It's on here.
Hooker's free here, half back. Bombers, minute 45.
Let him run. Thanks, Carlton.
Got the real slick back look.
Oh, yeah.
Would have picked that up at some cafe somewhere, the racer. Driven in on the cafe racer.
Yep.
Down the line. Langford knock away by White.
Is the bun the opposite of the tattoo? Is it an opposite look? What do you think?
The bun's in, Lee.
Bun's in. There's a lot wearing it.
Thanks, Ed.
Do you contemplate it, Lee?
Matthew.
If I had enough hair, I'd love to.
to.
Seriously.
19 scoring shots to 10. 5-14 to 6-4. 4-point lead to the Blues. Bombers did lead by 10. McDonald, Tippin, Woody tries to burst through. Did well. Fed the handball to Goddard. McGrath under pressure. Works it into the middle. Doherty didn't break stride, but got stopped in the end. Full stretch, took the mark, thinks about the next move. The next move is short to Gibbs. So short, he's called to play on. Now the longer ball to full forward. Silvani gets ready to rove. Went round, looked to see who was going up. No one really was doing from a Blues point of view. Zaharakis, long ball to Danaher. Rowe wins the battle, out-muscles Danaher, stands his ground at half-back.
And there was only space behind him, Rowe, so he would have been... He had to mark it, which he did.
Good hand, Silvani.
They've got field position, haven't they, Carlton? They're just dominating where the ball is, so the game is being played. It's just every now and again Essendon have been able to burst out of this back half congestion and generate a shot.
254 disposals apiece.
57% of time in forward half this quarter for Carlton. So as Lee said, they've had more of the footy here, had good field position. Wiedering now boiling down here to the last half a minute or so. Ball ping-ponging around in there. So you would think from this possession, with only 21 seconds left in the quarter, Carlton are the only ones that can score.
Matthew, thank you.
There we see the inside 50s, which are only just crossing the 50-metre line, but it also indicates just where the game is being played.
Paints a bit of a picture, that's for sure. Tippin Woody tries to upset the party. Parrish didn't quite make contact. Goddard did. Watson careful not to be deliberate over bounds. Did his best to keep it in. Did a good job of it. Curnow. Murphy round the corner. Need a mark and a kick here for the Blues. Not going to happen. So I think we're going to go into half-time here with scores very, very tight indeed. We are. Carlton by 4 points. 2 goals apiece in the third quarter. And a very, very tight game. A touch of controversy involved in it as well. But we are loving the tight fight in the really difficult conditions. The Blues by 4 points at three-quarter time. This one, and why do you think that'll happen?
Oh, I think the Blues will get up today. They've maintained their dominance in the forward half, and if they can get it going this quarter as well and maybe convert on the scoreboard, they might come out on top.
Great to have Jimmy Bartell with us on Sundays. So the last chapter of this one about to be written. It is the Blues by 4 points, searching for their first win of the year. The Bombers trying to remain undefeated. They work it forward, a chance here for Thomas to knock it forward, crashing on through. Ambrose, Kelly watches on Thomas. Quick kick away, heard the umpire, not 15, play on. Casbolt gets involved, works his body into it. Murphy, can he produce another little miracle? Maybe. No, across the face.
He's so smart, Murphy, at conjuring up opportunities out of nothing, isn't he?
Guess what the Bombers fans wanted?
Do it out of bounds.
Well,
he has been good. Been really good today, Murphy, hasn't he? I mean, just kicking those 2 goals out of nothing's almost, when you've only kicked 5 for the day, is so critical. He's been really good.
Out of absolute nothing. 25 disposals for the afternoon. Cruiser couldn't quite tap it where he wanted to. Curnow hit the deck. Cripps, ball smothered. Then driving rain, a ball to the wing on the outer side. Zaharakis crashes into Plowman. Well done, Parrish. Little give to Danaher. A fumble, but in the end he worked it in front of Heppel. Didn't get rushed. Back it goes to Watson. Clever slap forward to space. Murphy again. Happy to go off the ground. In the end, it's Brown who just keeps it in front of himself, paddles it forward. Silvani. And Brown fought it out. The ball gets worked to half forward again. Wiedering, Curnow. And then just over the shoulder in hope, really more than anything else. Ambrose lost his feet, quickly up to them. Lamb to Kelly and turned to Merritt. Then a nice little ball.
Pelting rain here at the moment. Northwestern Victorian farmers would be loving it, I would imagine. It is pouring here. Kicking out wide, over the head went wide, trying to get it to the boundary line. Leuenberger there, much to the surprise of Cale Hooker. He kept it alive. Got it to Cale. Here's Doherty fighting with Orazio. Tippenwoody. Was he taken forward? Umpire said no. Fantasia, great soccer skills, almost got through. Gee, Ed Curnow got one high. Umpire said it was legal and ready to go. Here's Doherty, won the best and fairest last year. Little chip kick, didn't get it all. It was meant for Petrevski, couldn't quite get there. Hurley was in the hunt. Play on calls the umpire. Petrevski-Seaton got it. Little left foot kick around the corner wasn't so good. They got a bang in here. What about that for a collision with Casbolt? Watson goes out wide. Danaher must attack the footy. His opponent Rowe did. He took the risk, then he fumbled. Joe came back at him. The tackle slipped and Rowe won out.
Now Wiedering a bit of a weight. Well done. Clean hands for the teenager. Big collision not far from where he is now in the second term with Hurley. Start of the last. Works it inside forward 50. Through the hands of Petrevski-Seaton. Now a chance for Silvani. Chases after the football. Collier. Quick kick. Lost his feet, Gibbs. Curnow, ball went in his direction. High up and under, a wait for Thomas. He and McGrath do battle. What a contest. I keep getting reminded of that Seinfeld where 2 art enthusiasts were describing the painting of Kramer. He's a loathsome, offensive brute, yet I cannot look away. That's what this match is like. It's not beautiful, but you can't stop watching.
Well, there's only 4 points in it. That's the point. Carlton have had field position. They've had a lot more shots at goal, so they've done the better up to this point in time, but you know that the ball only has to slip clear for an Essendon player to run onto it. Then all of a sudden the score, the lead changes. So that's the kind of tension that is being created.
Wide shot, everyone under cover here. Seagulls have returned, I notice, even though the fake Hawks are up there. Little strange. Danaher, haven't seen them for a year or two. Goddard around the corner, high ball, just trying to get the meterage on this kick. Who's going to get underneath it, though? White did well to size it up. Zaharakis, Tippenwoody there as well. Gibbs, good smother. Parrish, now Rowe's got to do it yet again. Tippenwoody had a piece. Parrish got a big piece of him. Ball spills loose. Funny little soccer out over there from McGreedy. Umpire calls play on. White went, got to go. Did he handball it? Did he kick it? The umpire said knocked out in the tackle. Look at that. Cripps, a no-look handball out wide to Simpson in these conditions. And now Simpson, a long ball. Cruiser with a backhanded thump over the top. Gives Thomas an opportunity here. Got in the way. Did gentleman James Kelly. Look at the old pro. Did really well for the Bombers.
A wily veteran. Simpson, Goddard on the outer side. Collier went and fed off the crumbs, lost it, left it behind, went and got it again. Now Zaharakis, he gets some territory. Umpire says throw it in.
Yes, this is where you hope that only the absolute obvious free kicks need to be paid from Lowell, because there's so many little bits and pieces that you might pay. You've just got to pay only the obvious now.
So many brilliant tap-ons in that last sequence of play. There's another from Goddard. This time, though, to Simpson around the body. Petrevski, Seaton and Kelly. The young and the old going at the football. Cruiser. And then Petrevski, Seaton off the ground. Gibbs and Heppel. Quality collide on the outer side. Now Watson tried to work it to McDonald, Tip and Woody. In the end, McCready gets hold of the football. Long ball forward. Trap from Thomas. Gives the Blues a chance. Right. Wrapped up by McGrath. Bagley ducked into the Casbolt tackle. Ambrose, Murphy, Wiedering tries to bust on through the legs of Danaher. Now the kick towards the boundary.
So White and Heppel go at it. Little hold there. Free kick White. You heard umpire Troy Pennell say to Joey Danaher, you grab the arm. No argument from Joey. And White with the free. Players draw their collective breaths. Here, 60 out, White into the hot spot where you expect. Cruiser went up, couldn't get the mark. Comes down here, McGrath. Soccer out of bounds in the full. Get the feeling it would have been deliberate anyway. So White, a second opportunity. The Blues by 4 points. Blood rule. Now, the blood rule is not just the blood rule. It's supposed to be free-flowing blood.
Yeah.
If the blood is there and can be wiped off, then you shouldn't have to leave the ground. He couldn't see it. I can't see it. I'm a little bewildered by that.
No, there must be some visible blood somewhere, but certainly not from this camera angle.
What about you, Jimmy? You're closer than us, but I think you got the wrong angle.
Yeah, difficult to say. I think it might be coming from the lip, but we'll see shortly.
So White from the boundary line. Silvani ignored on the lead. Fair enough. High ball. Cruiser. They're all there. Casbolt. Big pack of players offhand. Curnow snap miss. Or did he get it? No, he's got it. Curnow's kicked the goal. 10-point lead, Carlton. Ed Curnow. Well done to him. Front centre type setup. And Carlton, can this lead be trimmed back now at 10 points in horrendous conditions? Goal for goal.
There's that pack. The numbers of players there. The ball fell to Curnow, popped it on the left foot to goal. Great finish, nice 10-point lead to Carlton. It's going to be a long way back from Essendon, given the difficulty in scoring.
Superb stuff from Curnow. 6th goal of the afternoon for the Blues. 6-14, plays 6-4.
They've set up well behind the ball, the Carlton defence, which has just locked the ball into the forward part of the ground.
So the Blues get out to their biggest lead of the game. Equal, biggest of the afternoon. Bombers did lead by 10. And it has been some sort of a contest. It's been a tug-of-war since the opening bounce.
Just an update on Bagley. He's bleeding from the top of the head, so they're just going to patch him up and he'll be back on in a short time.
Yeah, got it.
Thanks, Jimmy. Jimmy Bartell joining the Channel 7 team down on the boundary line. Leuenberger, Cruiser. Leuenberger knocks it down. Heppel did well and just knocked back in the Cruiser direction. Kelly didn't get much on it. Straight to Murphy. Spirals the ball towards half forward. Out the back, a little slap forward from Ambrose. Palmer the beneficiary. Hurried ball towards goal. Right spot, almost Pickett, couldn't quite. Now Brown back inside. Dangerous ball, works out well. Stanton, Gleeson. Across to the outer side. Zaharakis and McCready. Langford ground ball. Give to Danaher was good. Drew the player Danaher. Worked it to Collier. Little ball over the top to Heppel, superb. Next move to half forward. Zaharakis thinks about playing on, does play on. Out of bounds on the full.
Forced them wide, the Carlton defences, so they've made sure they've got a defensive wall. They've never allowed Essendon players to get goal side. which most of the time has forced Essendon to attack from out wide. But every now and again you can get through the centre corridor. That's when it's dangerous.
Can they lock it in and have multiple opportunities here? That's the question for the Bombers, because Carlton have been able to do that at their end. But Essendon have let it come out. They've got to keep it in, give themselves multiple opportunities. Hurley, Bagley, bumped by Silvani. Have a look at the Blues players start to run forward here. As Pickett wins the ball, goes out wide. Tried the soccer off the ground. Palmer missed all contact. Picked up in the end by Brown. A deliberate little kick out there to Goddard. A little bit of shake and bake on that from Goddard. Kick around the corner, not good. Doherty wins. So the Bombers, even though they had it deep, unable to retain it in their forward end of the ground.
Doherty in thumping rain. Goddard front spot, cleverly played it down. Simpson right spot. Bagley heavily bandaged, just been off the ground moments ago. Is this rain, Jimmy, as heavy as it has been all afternoon?
It's the heaviest at the moment. What's really noticeable, players just cannot change direction too well at the moment.
Doherty, clever ball around the corner with his right boot. Cripps and Goddard fight a battle. So Silvani and 4 others for the Blues have never played in a Blues win. Silvani in his 11th game, searching for premiership points for the first time. Blues, noses in front, plenty of time for the Bombers. Goddard to Stanton, no distance gained. Gibbs, Stanton, Hocking, Cruiser, ball. Well, the umpire blew the whistle, didn't hear it. The ball up on the outer side. As Jimmy
like
Martin
rugby
has said.
scrum, you've got to get the ball forward, let the ball get behind. That's what Carlton are doing so well. Again, their defensive line, I've said it a few times, is holding position really well. And most of the time when the ball is in a contest, 3 or 4 players, the Carlton player is coming up with the footy more often.
Boundary throw in, Cruiser. Knocked down. Might be another ball up here as they fight for it. There is. Jimmy, how long, if you were playing in the back line for the Blues at the moment, 12 minutes to go, they lead by 10. How long before you pull up stunts and start to play real negative?
Oh, I think they keep persisting with the way they're playing. They're winning all the 50-50 contests, but they might start to roll a wing back to give that extra defensive cover across half-back.
Okay, so we'll watch for that. Palmer over the top, Cripps. Soccer, Hurley's got to be clean. Little soccer through the middle there. All Carlton did, they've had a wall behind the ball all day. Rose kick is good to Kerridge. Kerridge marks. Now, the man on the mark is at 45. He's going to have to kick this 49 metres.
Yeah, it's a tough shot, but you've got to take your time. There's going to be nothing better on. When you can get a set shot inside 50, you've got to go back and take your time. He's got a plenty of cold front open. Kerridge, I mean, you can kick it if you can time it, but actually getting good contact when the ground's slippery and the ball's slippery, very difficult task.
Rain has slowed a touch. Kerridge steps to the 49-metre mark and slays it out to the right-hand side, out of bounds on the full.
Brendan, yours.
When you're 10 points in front, it's almost better to go out of bounds on the full because it hems the ball in on one side of the ground. Makes it so much harder for Essendon to try and get it out quickly.
Silvani ran at Goddard, got the kick away. Now a chance for the Blues. Heppel and Gibbs fight after it. McDonald, Tippin, Woody, little slap. Parrish, Hooker, desperate second go at it. Gibbs went towards the boundary's been pinged.
That's tough.
So Merritt to Zaharakis. In the end, McCready closed on in, got a fist to it, knocked it over. You be the umpire, Lee.
Well, he kicked it towards the boundary line. That's about the most you could say. But no, I think those interpretations are really harsh in these conditions. The control of the ball is just so little, or so difficult.
Play on.
Merritt tried to work it forward. Curnow got into the right spot, then went back at the football. Watson, Gleeson, Pickett. Well, no win in there. Heap of footballers all wanting the one thing.
There's nothing in that. Don't be silly.
The umpires, I think, are certainly taking the recommendation. They're only playing the obvious free kicks. A couple of deliberate out of bounces. We keep using the word deliberate when that's a bit of a misnomer, but nevertheless, they are letting it flow.
Almost just can't get it past their half-forward line often enough. It seems to be Carlton that having all the half-forward opportunities, if you like. Petreski, Seaton there. Goddard, fast hands, Merritt. Now let's see. To half-forward it goes. 3-on-2 in favour of the Blues. Knockout comes to Parrish. Handball to Stanton. Stanton couldn't keep going. Cruiser got him. Little right foot outsider off the boot, marked by White.
And Doherty's the general down there. He's actually the player then, and Simpson will be assisting, of course, but he's the one who's playing that sweeper role behind just to make sure Essendon just can't run into open space. Really valuable role, particularly when you're defending a 10-point lead. Really wet conditions.
Just further on Lee's point there, what he's doing is he's allowing the half forward to go up really high, and he's sagging off him a good 20 metres and just backing. He reads the ball better than the Essendon player.
Hold his arm, Matthew Cruiser.
That's a big win on the wing.
Let it go, Joe.
Any little win like that, Lee.
Yeah, well, it's a field position that enables them to drive the ball deep into their attacking zone and a long way from the Essendon goal.
Watson, a master of his craft at half-back.
And too risky to switch because you can't get the length from the kick.
Lowish ball. Williamson on debut's been really impressive. Well done, Pickett. Got into the skipper's hands, and well, the Bombers will get it back.
It's Reese back here.
Every inch has been hard fought this afternoon.
Now, oh, gee.
What are you thinking? Where to?
Oh, I was just thinking the switch was on there. They had an extra 2 players out the other side, but they keep kicking it down the line.
Front spot in the end.
Because it's too difficult.
They've got to give it a go, don't they, VT? They're going to get beaten if they don't actually take some risks that come off, even if you get beaten by an extra goal or 2.
Pickett hoping for a Wiedering, but Hurley read it perfectly in there. BT, you want to send it to the fat side?
Well, have a look at the... You can see there's 3 or 4 players onto 2 out there. Now, they've got the overlap here if they can go. They've got 2 players free over the top.
Carlton have covered it pretty well, but Goddard tried to actually direct it to get out the open side, try and open it up.
Bagley did real well with the sliding mark. As Lee has just said, this is the risk they're going to have to take now because Carlton have got it covered down the line. And now Carlton have pushed over so quickly that they've got this covered as well. So the kick down the line here, the big punch away. Blues doing the discipline things well at the moment. In there is Wiedering. Play on calls the umpire as Watson goes forward. Razio Fantasia. Tip and Woody. Little quick handball over the top. Leuenberger. Razio Fantasia. Bangs it long. Only the Blues back. Only the Blues. Doherty having a little bit of trouble getting hold of it.
That was the man Jimmy Bartelli Matthews were referring to. The general at the back. Doherty works it to the wing, but Leuenberger quickly to Goddard. Pulls the kick, clever kick to Happel, a little bit of a fumble. That's rare from the skipper. Tried to work it inside, found Watson. He paddles it forward, 2nd and 3rd go. Now Williamson loses it. Here's a chance, Fantasia. Fantasia, he's...
Hit the back of the post. Oh, Razio.
Now Essendon have got to lock it in this part of the ground, not let Carlton out. Carlton have done that too to most of the game. Now that's Essendon's challenge.
Simpson, 9-point Carlton lead. Gibbs, careful marking it on the chest, did well. Sees his partner in Murphy, not so careful. Gives Goddard a chance to close. Ball knocked out in the tackle. That's why the umpire said play on. Fair enough. White, little kick around the corner. Here they go, the Bombers. Gleeson just kicks it as far as he possibly can. Rowe defensive punch to the boundary line. In the contest, so it won't be deliberate. And a boundary throw in here. Johnny Worsfold, not much he can do, not much that coaches can do in these conditions. Just hope their players keep on cracking in. Leuenberger, think it was Goddard that come charging through. Langford there as well with the spoil. Collier, Doherty hard. Tip and Woody, Tip and Woody, Tip and Woody misses. A couple of good opportunities created from the Bombers.
Well, 2 teams full of tired players, tired legs. Plenty of willing minds. Simpson. He's going to go close to the boundary. Langford, make sure it goes over.
Yeah, they're quite happy to keep the ball wide now, Carlton, as long as they can just keep the ball, not allow Essendon to be able to switch the ball. Difficult to switch, but that's the only way Essendon are likely to score a couple of goals in this last 6 minutes.
You've just joined us. The rain has been falling throughout the afternoon. Hardly a moment's break. Cruiser, but half-back. Chance for Gleeson. Had the ball stripped. Well done, Petrevski-Seaton. Then off the side of his boot. Little kick forward. Kerridge, desperate again. Runs into Wiedering. Comes off his boot. Bombers happy to take it. Game of inches. 8-point ball game. 6 minutes to play. Blues searching for their first premiership points of the season. Heppel trying to keep his side unbeaten. Kelly looking for someone inside 50, and he's found one, but he's dropped it. Parrish, little give. Chance for Ambrose. Round the corner. Simpson couldn't quite get hold of it. Plowman chases after it. Fantasia gets hold of the football. Rowe gets his left boot on it. Ends up with Palmer. Now to Williamson. On debut. Little ball back. Well done, Palmer. Sidestep. Tumbling ball. Couple of Bombers. Just the one chasing Wiedering.
Now all the hard work to do again. Deliberate underground handball by Hurley was intelligent. Bagley over the top. Here they set up and go forward again. McGrath gets around one, driving footy 2-on-1. Collier made the contest worthwhile. Out the back door they come. Might have been Thomas, it was. Slammed it on the boot. Cripps marks. Time ticking. 5 minutes now. Carlton by 8 points. You get the feeling that the Blues get it past their half-forward line. They are going to lock it in with all of their effort. And they are very close to doing that right here and right now. Jimmy, is the time now for the Blues to get a few more behind?
Yeah, their defenders are starting to take a position about 2 metres off the back of the Bombers players and allowing them to have that hit-up lead.
Cruiser knocks forward. Hocking wrong-footed on his right.
Neither.
It's the reverse, isn't it? Now we've been talking about Essendon needing to try and get back in the middle to the open field to try and attack, but Carlton, all they have to do is just keep it wide. So hard to set up a chain of possessions if you've got any pressure.
Can the Blues remain calm? Can the Bombers find a way? 2 goals required in 4.5 minutes. 8 points the margin. 5 Blues have never tasted victory wearing the Carlton jumper for home and away points. The Blues only won 1 of the last 13. That was round 22 against the D's. Heppel trying to make it a Bombers win. Thomas on hands and knees. Little give, ends up with Cripps around the corner. It goes Wiedering. Long, flat ball, couple fly. Casbolt is one. Gibbs at the fall of the ball. Gibbs around the body. Gibbs doesn't get there. Palmer, McGrath fight for it. The Blues might be able to lock it in.
Gonna have to kick 2 goals here in these conditions, the Bombers, to snatch it. Brendan Bolton has elected the bench as the choice position. What do you reckon he's thinking there, Jimmy? Come to you in a moment after this boundary throw-in as to why he may have gone there. Curnow, little left foot snap around the corner, misses. What do you think, Jimmy?
Oh, like we said earlier in the piece, structurally you can't do much, and you just be encouraging players just to outnumber and repeat outnumbering and keep the ball locked in the forward half.
Staying tuned to the coach's box, though, with that phone there is Brendan Bolton.
This has to be looking to go down the middle. No, he's gone wide.
So he does down the line here for Kelly. Collier is there. Ambrose was up as well. Outnumbered again here. Wide at the back, happy to concede over the boundary line. And Lee Fisher, the umpire, thought about it. Boundary throw-in, I reckon they're talking about now. Come on, do we get behind the footy now?
I tell you what,
They've already got a couple behind the footy, so I think they've already got their back line set up well, and now they've just got to make sure they've got enough numbers to lock it in, not allow Essendon free possession upfield.
chance for Merritt. Little toe poke didn't really go anywhere. Heppel tried to work it out of the air. Cripps underneath all of that. He's gone again. Cripps trying to get hold of the football.
Thanks, guys. Yep, Jake, keep the matter. Matt,
I think what Essendon have to do, in fact, is actually make sure they get that extra, that They can't have the one extra at the stoppage and the one less in the forward line because this got no hope.
Well, brilliant end by Collier. Kept it inside. Well done, Marchbank. Back to the flight. Ball stuck. Happy just to absorb some of this time now. 3:15. 9-point ball game. Big pack. Herd of players. Front of the members. Little ball ends up. Thomas give. White on the end of a chain of handballs. Casbolt might take it cleanly. Swing and a miss. Kelly ends up with a football. Chance for Hocking. Skips to Hooker. Little slap wide. Plowman stood up in the tackle. Curnow. Merrick got him, but he didn't have the ball. Hooker. Collier. Heppel. Big tackle from Plowman. Heppel's down. Ball still in. Danaher. Ball finally over. Plenty of feeling. 2.5 to play. 9 points the lead. 4 points on offer.
Starting to warm up. Got to kick it a little more, you feel, the Bombers. A lot of handball. Leuenberger out the back. Goddard set that up magnificently. And the Shepherd was magnificent from the skipper as well as they go forward. And Doherty marks. He says, fellas, there's 2:23 remaining. We'll just hold it up and go down the line here. The safe decision. A high footy. Casbolt, all the big boys are there. Leuenberger just double punches it forward. Opportunity to pick up here for the Blues. Hocking got his body in the front here. Little chip out. Nice hands. Parrish. Smothered ball off Ambrose's boot. Leuenberger picks it up. Gleeson probably should have gone. Thomas did. The soccer. But this opens the Bombers up. What can Silvani do to Hurley? Tries to run him down. Hurley got away with it. McGrath had a fumble. Still got time to resurrect things though. Gets out to gentleman James Kelly. He turns around on the right boot. High ball. The Bombers have got to go. If they don't go now, they can't get it done. Doherty crashes in. And McGrath got him high.
Advantage.
Blues happy to take it. Gibbs over the top. Wanted Wiedering. McDonald, Tippin, Woody, Wiedering. One-on-one they battle. Help arrives for both players. Wiedering off the ground. Ricochets off Kerridge. And it skips over the boundary line. What a great contest. How different it is from Showdown 42. Last night the players looked like they were on rollerblades.
Yeah, no.
They tired players, but equally as brilliant to watch. Cruiser, Leuenberger, Watson, Hocking, neither took it cleanly. Little one from Curnow to the skippers who kicked a couple of brilliant goals today. Curnow, Cruiser, he can finish things off here. Cruiser, Silvani chases, has it, loses it. But again, time against the Bombers. And you'd think now the Blues can lock it in. Brendan Bolton, he's been on the phone, on the bench.
And if there's something wrong here, Carlton is in the right part of the field. They've just got to be able to lock it in. They know that. They've worked hard. They've worked hard for the lead. Well-deserved win if they can hang on for this last minute.
Only won one of their last 13 games, the Blues. Round 22 last year was their last win. And here they are looking for their first win of the year, and I reckon they've definitely got it here now. Leuenberger fighting. Kelly. Heppel.
Looking in danger.
Free kick, Blues.
That's it.
So this will be it now. Kerridge has got the free. Brendan Bolton knows. Has a chat. So, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. It's close enough. I mean, they give a lot of protection to the guy whose hands are down near the footy, and I think Kerridge was.
So, umpire Troy Pennell was saying it was clearly kicking him in danger. And here is Kerridge to ram the point home from 20 metres out. Directly in front to kick the goal, and he gets it. Blues will be victorious with 10 seconds remaining. Aren't they excited, the bunch? Have a look at them. En masse.
Well, they know.
Masse, they are running to the defensive end lead. Look at them all.
Yeah, they're told there's only 10 seconds to go. They hardly need to do that, really, but I guess you make notes. I mean, it's just breaking the dark. It's so hard when you go into a season. You lose one, you lose two, and they've come here today with a great amount of grit and determination. they're going to actually break the duck.
Straight out. Jump of the footy.
So for the last time, you'd think the two big men go up in the middle, and Cripps again gets hands on the football. But on a wet, rain-drenched MCG, the Blues knock over the Bombers, and 5 Carlton players taste victory in a Blues jumper for the first time.
Excited, the young Blues, aren't they?
Oh, so they should be. All you can do, the work rate and the effort, and you're going to get, there's so much frustration when the play's wet because you just, the can't handle the ball cleanly.